Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's start inshallah with where we left, or if we can, I'm just trying to find here. Oh, here. Okay, so last 2 weeks, I guess, we studied the story of Solomon as it is narrated in Qur'an. But since we reading all stories in Qur'an, not as stories of Awwalun, stories of old nations or people, old generations, we read them as story of our own. Hence, the theme of these discussions, you in Quran, or your story in Quran. So this is another opportunity to see how we are being described, being discussed, being guided in Quran. So we will try to get something out of this narration about ourselves. Not a mighty king with a strange army, like to be frank, an army of birds, some invisible creatures, sometimes ants. Not a mighty king, but a king of our own world, or maybe ourselves, or kings as they bring forward some messages to us. So this will be our story. And today we will continue with the preparations of battle between two armies, it seems at least. So I remember last week we studied how messengers in Solomon's army, or in our case, messengers as they interact with us, carries some messages to us. They bring some messages, they bring some news that we are not aware, that we've been unaware so far, and try to expand our horizons. In this case, it is represented by a bird named Hupi.
I guess we won last game, huh?
And
I lost. We lost. But it's all good. Better team won.
So, a messenger of Solomon, or messenger of ourselves, who brought a message to us again to expand our horizons. That's how we discussed it. So, just to recap things and just to make a short summary, we said in life we always encounter some difficulties. We always encounter, it doesn't have to be actually difficulties, we encounter things that we cannot make sense right away. But alhamdulillah, we have a huge army with us to help us to conquer these new lands that are strange for us, that are stranger for us. So with these armies of ours, we go there and conquer them, okay, metaphorically speaking. And so far we discussed what kind of army we have, what kind of creatures helping us, and so on and so forth. And I guess we left where Solomon was discussing with a member of his army, again represented as a bird in this narration, Hupi, I'm not sure about the right pronunciation, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry?
Is it hupu?
Hupu, okay,
Like
it's
that.
hupu then.
I think that sounds right.
Bringing a news. And what kind of news she would say, I have encompassed that which you have not encompassed, that I have something, I've seen something, I bring you an experience, a new experience, that you haven't experienced before. I brought you something new, that you were not aware. And I came to you from Saba with certain news. Okay, the different strange land or foreign land that you never considered before. So I guess this happens a lot to us, right? We have all our beliefs, we have our preconceptions of things. We think we know about things, and something new happens in our life. And say, Birkan, you thought you knew it, but okay, now explain this. Right? Indeed, I found there a woman ruling them, and she was being given all the things, of all things, and hers is a mighty throne. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun. I'm just reading them quickly because we already discussed this to some extent. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun instead of Allah, and Satan has made their deeds beautiful to them and averted them from the way or from his way, so they cannot find the right way. So they cannot be guided, or there are different translations there. But overall, the gist of the narration tells us that, again, one messenger in our life, we have thousands of messengers, right? Am I just exaggerating? What do you think? Do you think we have all these messengers carrying us messages? Any, the examples you can give? Or maybe I'm just, a silly guy just. Any messengers that brings message and news for you in your life? Anything?
Loneliness, maybe?
Loneliness, what kind of message it brings you?
That I don't want to be lonely.
Exactly, right? I don't want to be lonely, which is, if you go further,
I need to seek some type of being or someone as a companion.
exactly, you need for companionship. So these loneliness, we take them as just feelings, right? So I feel that way because X, Y, whatever. The weather is so hot or so cold, or my mom just left, my wife just, I don't know, something. And I feel lonely. So it's interesting, in Qur'an, this kind of attitude is described as killing messengers. Like they've been killing messengers, right? A messenger comes to us trying to tell something so important, so crucial, which would, be a core of our belief, such as our need for companionship, our need for being taken care of, such an important message. And we say, I feel lonely, let's go play soccer. I feel lonely, let's eat some ice cream. I don't know, watch some movies. But this messenger carrying us so important, we will see, so news of Kareem, like so big news. Because when I realize my neediness, I will seek for sustenance, and I will see that this sustenance has been always provided to me. So it will make a lively connection between me and my sustainer, my Rabb. So let's not kill these messengers. Let's try to read their letters, the news. So we have loneliness, our feelings, our messengers, that brings always new news to us. Our thoughts, like we think, I think that way, I thought that way. We don't have any access to or any control on our, if you like, thought generation processes in our minds. We don't have any control, right? Sometimes we need some ideas. My wife, ask me why you are late, and I need some excuses, and I cannot generate it. But sometimes the idea comes to me. It's given to me as a message to tell me something about myself. Anyway, we have these messengers, or sometimes a challenge in our life, as narrated in this story. We say, I believe in God. I believe everything is created by Him. I believe everything is taken care of by Him. There is a meaning in life. There is a purpose in life. I will go to heaven or hell after dying. I have this belief system readily there. And I say this is the only way to live a human life, a life of dignity. And then an alternative comes. A messenger comes and tells me, do you know what? There is another world in which people do not believe what you believe, but still have everything. She has been given of all things. We saw the same pattern when the narration was talking about Solomon. Solomon was told, actually not Solomon, but the people. Solomon was saying, "Oh people, we've been taught logic, language of birds, and we are given all things, of all things," he was saying, right? So with my belief system, I believe in God, and I think I have everything, I can explain everything. And then alternative worldview comes and say that, what God you are talking about? There's a sun there which gives life to livestock, nutrition to plants, which becomes a sustenance for animals, whatever. It's sun. Or some other physical entities, some physical laws, whatever, something other than God. And do you know what? With such a belief system, such a worldview, we have everything. We even have a mighty throne. Meaning, our worldview is represented everywhere. Go to the street, just walk 5 minutes, you will see this worldview there. Open your TV, turn on your TV. You will see this alternative worldview there. Open up your textbooks. You will find it there. Our throne is everywhere. And then, whatever they do, they seems beautiful to them. We have democracy, we have liberty, we have freedom. You believers, you're destroying the world. You're causing wars, right? All these alternatives. Look at the nations which are most secular. Highest gross income. Highest level of satisfaction in life. But these are facts, right? If you look at the statistics. Alternative news brought by Hooper. And he says, do you know what? I will expand your horizon now. I will bring you something that you have not encompassed before. What about this alternative, he says. And we have all this kind of news every day. Right? We say stealing is bad, alternative comes. But you are needy, or maybe in such cases. We say this is right, this is wrong. Start walking on the street, we see everything is just the opposite. There's another nation, another kingdom, which is ruled just opposite of what you are talking about. Just the opposite. Still they have everything. Any comments so far? Okay. Let's continue. And then Hupu says, I'm skipping some parts again because they've been discussed last week. He says, I don't understand how people cannot believe in God, believe in Allah, although everything they, thankful for is given by Him. And then he ends with very interesting, almost out of sudden. Like when you take it as a narration, we, hear all these things being narrated, and then in the middle, just such a sentence is put there. Allah, there is no deity except him, Lord of the great throne. And we see this pattern or phrase, Allah la ilaha illa huwa, many times in the Quran, right? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa, la ilaha illa. And Rabbul Arshul Azim. So why do you think we have here? We are given an alternative worldview. Right? We are about to fight, we have about to have a battle in our world. And Allah, there is no deity except him, Lord of the great throne. Just maybe a comparison between this part and the previous part. Hers is a mighty throne. Where is it? Arshu Azim, right? And here we have Al-Arshu Azim, Al-Arshu Azim. Like it's like they have a throne, but he has the throne. Right? Just a comparison. So what do you think, such a verse, what it tells us? Well, let's put it that way. The entire surah started with, these are the signs, ayahs of Kitab, the book, which is there for guidance and good news. Right? This is Surah Nam, started with these ayahs, like these are the ayahs to guide you. So we have such a situation now. We have a battle in our mind, or maybe physical battle in some part of the world. And here comes guidance. Here comes good news.
I would understand as, this other invisible things you don't even see, and you say, oh well, how are we gonna defeat this other army? But then you have the good news that your Lord has this, he has more power. His sovereignty is stronger. Your army that you have, you might not understand it, but it is more powerful than the other army.
Great. Any other comments? Any other objections? Disagreements? Questions? It's your story, so you might got something else other than what I say. So it's, as we approach Quran speaks to us individually, right? I open Quran and it speaks to me, to guide me, Birkan. And when Atik opens up Quran, it guides Atik. So the way I take such verses in Quran, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. So it's like a formula. It says, when you have a difficulty in your life, use this formula. Okay? When you have something unexplainable in your life that you cannot explain, use this formula, which is, says La ilaha illa huwa. So you will see in your life different idols. You will see in your life different suppressors, kings, tyrants, that you think at first worthy of worship, worthy of serving, worthy of something, or at least you are scared. That you think it, they, she, he can rule over you, can hurt you or can benefit you. But God says, La ilaha illa huwa. Whatever, the idol you have in your life, they are false. Just get rid of them. Be free of them. You have this alternative worldview, yes. It seems like they have everything. But look at the idols you will see there. And refute them. This is something like, it gives the formula of active belief rather than passive belief. It says refute them. All the idols in your life, refute them. See that they are not worthy of worship. They may seem big to you, they may seem azim to you, great to you. But they are nothing, just refute them. And when you refute them, you will find the real one. The real mighty king, the real ilah, real object of worship, which is Allah. It's like as if describing, not as if actually it is, right? Allah is the one, other than Him there is no deity. So if you want to find Allah, if you want to find the real object of worship, you have to refute all these idols in your life. Just like whose story we saw before in Qur'an? Abraham, right? When he was a young kid, he was killing all the idols, showing the others that these idols that you worship cannot do anything, can neither harm you nor benefit you. Just refute them. And this is the formula of having or winning the battle, winning the war with such an alternative worldview. Refute the idol that this alternative worldview imposes on you. They will tell you, for instance, you need money. Without money, you don't have power. Refute. They will say, okay, you need a kind of power, some kind of power. It could be physical power, it could be intelligence, it could be something. It's what is called the natural selection, survival of fittest. Yeah, survival of fittest. This is the rule. They will say, refute the idols. It says. They will say, we need some strategies, we need some rules, we need, playing some games to have successful. This is your idol. Refute. All the good names they will use. They will bring you democracy. They will bring you freedom. Refute all these idols. And then you will find your object of worship. It has to be active. You have to actively refuting them. Otherwise, what happens, just like happens to us right now, just be honest, we will be crushed under these alternative worldviews when we walk on the street, when we turn on the TV, when we go to our classes. You can believe, right, I'm okay with this is a free country, but just keep it to yourself. You can believe in your home. But in this classroom, we will teach you how sun creates things. So, story continues. Take this letter of mine and deliver it to them. Then withdraw from them and see what they return, what answer they return, or what they do, how they behave. What is their response? So, again, we can take this as a part of the narration. Solomon is, telling the bird, take this letter, take them. But one big miracle of Quran is that it's guidance with every even single verse. It's a guidance even with phrases, like a parts of the verses. So we read such a verse And at least to me, it brings this idea that we just discussed at the beginning. There are things bringing us these letters, news. Just like we discussed, our emotions, they bring letters to us all the time and wait for our response. Whether we will say, I feel lonely, let's do something, or whether we will open the letter and start reading it. Start read what it says. Because a letter, it's a letter when you read it, right? Otherwise, what do you do with your, like,
Junk mail.
the junk mails? There's even a phrase, right? Junk mail.
Mm.
When you see, like, let's not talk about the company names, but when you see the name of a company X, you are pre-selected for something, you don't even open it. You don't even open it, right? You just throw it. So it's not a letter for you. So when we approach our feelings, when we approach our, like, these events happens in our life, we treat them the same way. But this letter of my Creator, which is addressed to me, is just a junk mail, Astaghfirullah. I don't even open it. I say, I give names. Oh, this is a blue letter. That means I feel blue. Let's play soccer. There's a pink letter. Oh, that means, I'm in love. Let's, watch a romantic movie. Whatever. So that's the most we do. We never open them. But the letter is, again, a letter is a letter when you read them. So try to read all the messages that you receive. So I know it sounds a little strange when somebody talks about messages and so on. But this is the real life. The life is a creation, it's a speech of our Creator. And a speech is a speech when there's someone who listens. Or, with a metaphor of letter, again, a letter is a letter when there is someone who reads. So we receive all this speech all the time, every day. Right? I look at Abdurrahman, he's started, get bored of my talks. It's a speech for me, from my Creator telling me something about myself.
To add pictures to your PowerPoints.
Sorry?
To add pictures to your
Add more pictures to your PowerPoints, maybe. Or maybe I was, having a problem with my ego. And I thought, whatever I say will be interesting and, excite people. And my Creator says, no, that's not the case. So be more realistic, be more honest with yourself. But I personally, like without any exaggeration, I try to take everything in my life as a letter addressed to me. So when I see something bad about some people, so there are different alternatives, right? I can take it as a gossip with my Creator, as if my Creator is gossiping me, saying me, oh, look at these bad people, they have these bad attitudes. Or another alternative, I take it as, I'm showing you this because I want you to correct yourself in some regard. This is an example that you also have in you. So just look at them. Follow your feeling, which tells you that this is not good. You are even disgusted, right? You want to be away from it. So this is, what you should do about yourself. Correct yourself. This is how I show you. Such a merciful act, right? If my Creator, for instance, was telling me such a thing, just, to my face, because you are such a bad person, I would be ashamed. But when I see it as an example on others, at least I have there's a gap between me and, what happens there. So I have this luxury of thinking about it without being ashamed. Because it's not me doing it, but at the same time I know that I have something similar in me. Such a merciful, compassionate act of my Creator, sending me such a letter. We receive all these letters, and at the same time, sometimes we interact with things that we cannot make sense. We act on them and try to see what the response they will give us, what news they will tell us in return. So meaning, if we take this narration, follow it, there's one guy, Solomon, let's say representing me, one aspect of me. There's another ruler in another country representing another aspect of me, maybe, or another aspect of the creation. And there's a conscious communication between. One part sends some news or some message to another part of the creation. I have a laptop in front of me, and I ask the laptop consciously, I say, who created you? And try to see what answer it will give me. Just like described here, right? So having a conscious relationship with the creation. Ask them something and see how they answer, how they respond. So don't be ashamed. Don't think, people will think you are crazy. Ask these table questions. Send them letters. Have a conscious relationship with them. Ask them questions and see, and then move away, withdraw, and see how they respond. Whether they will say, they are created out of randomness, out of chaos, or there are some natural laws creating them, or maybe they will tell you that no, there is one God who creates the entire universe, creates me. Whatever message you will receive. So here's the question. What do you do when you receive some news, unexpected news? What do you do when you have a sudden emotion, for instance? When you hear someone is died or someone is born, you pass the class, you fail the class. You were hungry, now you are fed. Something happens in you, right? Is there anyone who's so static, like nothing happens? I'm sitting all day and nothing happens, I don't feel anything. It's not even possibility, right? We are not left alone, just like described in Qur'an. I don't remember which verse in Baqarah. Do you think we will leave you alone? You will be left alone. Never left alone, right? Isn't it strange? Like you're just sitting and you have all these emotions, all these ideas, all this. We take them as granted because they happen all the time, as if there's nothing strange with this. But when you think and compare yourself with this, for instance, I'm sure it doesn't have any emotions, any thoughts, at least from my perspective. It doesn't matter whether, it doesn't, if it really has or not. So when I compare myself with this, or even with this, which is, a better technology. Oh, actually this is better, right? Anyway. Nowadays, I guess they are better than laptops. It's really strange. Again, be honest to yourself. Like, it is strange that you have feelings. It is unexpected. There's no explanation why you have these feelings. You receive all these news. They trying to tell you something. And what do you do? And let's be open. What do you do when you have feelings?
Overthink it.
Sorry?
Overthink it.
Yeah, maybe.
Keep
Yeah.
on thinking deeper and deeper of what it is. How did that come about? And
other day, I was talking to a friend. Oh, she was telling me, like, she was angry or something. I ask her like, oh, what do you think? Isn't it like interesting that you are angry? Such a beautiful moment. You can contemplate right now. It's an opportunity. I said, what are you talking about? Like he made me angry and I'm angry.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. But it's such an interruption in your life, like giving you an opportunity for being lost in daily life to a contemplative state of mind, an opportunity. And just like myself, I'm not criticizing her. It's me, same thing. Otherwise, my creator wouldn't show me such an occasion, like such a creation in front of me. I said, what are you talking about? Like he made me angry, and I'm angry. Wait a second, he made me angry. What happened to La ilaha illa part? Illa huwa part. He cannot make me angry. He made me with the capital H. Made me angry. This anger is given to me. It's created in me. Your anger is a throne, and you will see his signs in this throne. He will be represented there. He will be ruling your emotional economy of your emotions. What else? What we do?
If I experience negative emotions, I'll try to kill it.
Yes, you try to kill it, right? You take some antidepressants.
Yeah.
If you have pain, it has to go 0. And then we have these opioid. Is it called opioid?
Opioids.
Opioid epidemic. Why? Because we kill messengers all the time. I'm not telling impose yourself pain. I'm not telling this. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, whatever you feel, whatever you experience, whatever ideas you have, whatever you see, it's there for a reason, to tell you something. When you read the message, they will leave. Just like messengers as described in Qur'an. They're just there to remind you something. They're not asking money from you. They're not asking anything from you. Only there to tell you something. Listen to them. Sometimes the pain tells me that it reminds me, I need someone who will comfort me, who would give me health. It's a time, it's like an alarm clock. There's a time for Asr prayer, right? There's a time for Isha prayer. It's already time for Isha prayer. Sometimes there's a time for praying for health. And when it is, it's when you feel pain. It's like alarm clock. It rings. Oh, because it's time for health prayer. Pray for health. Don't forget it. You pray when time is due, it goes away. She said, "O noble ones, an important letter has been delivered to me. Indeed, it is from Solomon, and indeed, it is in the name of Allah, the eternally merciful, the especially merciful, entirely so. Rahman Rahim. Don't exalt yourself against me, but come unto me in willing surrender." So, a letter comes to me, I open it, and I see it's from someone, a messenger. Solomon is a messenger, right? Prophet. So, nowadays my newborn baby, she's crying all the time. We do everything to suit her feelings or pains. We don't even know what it is there. It's a sign language that you have to decipher. She's crying. I open up a letter. What's happening there? And I take it as delivered to me as the first thing. Otherwise it doesn't mean anything. I'll just say, oh, there's a blue letter. Just throw it to trash. So I open it. I see it as a letter. And I see that the first thing I see there is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So whatever is there, whatever experience you have right now, whatever alternative worldview is given to you, it is in the name. Even someone is challenging my belief with an alternative worldview, just like in this case. I open it as a letter and I say it's in the name of God, who is Rahman and Rahim, meaning I realize it's something created. My baby is crying. It's not out of chaotic events. It's not because there's a biological mechanism makes her angry or, I don't know, crying. It's because this anger or this cry is being created in front of me. It's being created in conjunction with or in association with some biological mechanisms, that's true, so that, I will receive even further guidance, but it doesn't change the fact that it is created in front of me. Meaning it is a letter to me, delivered to me. So read it in the name of God. When you read it in the name of God, when you realize it is being created, it will become a letter, it will become a speech. And at least to me, I don't know, it might be different for you guys, but it's really hard to do that. Because everything happens in my life, and I always read them in the name of some other idols, in the name of some other gods. Something happens, my project is denied, I read it in the name of program officer who denied my project. Something happens, I get my salary, I'm happy, I have, let's say, what is it when you get something extra?
Bonus.
Bonus. You get some bonus, it's so far, right? So the reality is so far away from me. I never get bonus, so I don't even know that. I get some bonus, I'm happy, hooray, and I read it in the name of my boss. Or my wife is angry, shouting, yelling at me, and I'm angry, like I'm scared. Just for the sake of example, it never happens. I'm scared, almost crying on my corner, and I read it in the name of my beautiful wife. So anyway, but Qur'an says, no, when a letter is delivered to you, read it in the name of God. Not in the name of God, in the name of God who is merciful, who is entirely merciful, especially merciful. And merciful to everyone, but especially merciful to you. So read it in the name. And what it tells me, don't exalt yourself. When my baby cries, it says, what happened to your pride? You thought you were the best father. You thought you were the best father. What happened? You thought, you were controlling everything. You've been controlling everything in your life. Control him, her. Tiny creatures that size. Make her, not cry if you can. Don't exalt yourself. This is your reality. You are nothing. Not in a bad way, not in an insulting way. This is you because you are needy. And you need your sustainer to sustain. And this is what happened in your life so far. You've been sustained. Just remember this. crying baby telling me, come to me in willing surrender. So your neediness, your weakness is not your enemy. It's the thing that will take you to me. Surrender your reality. Surrender your weaknesses, surrender your needs. They will tell you what you are. They will tell you what I am. Use them. Don't exalt yourself. Don't attribute things to yourself. Get rid of every attributions. Get rid of every claims of yours. You're the best father. You can control things.
Can I say something with
Please.
The father aspect of a crying baby? Teach you the patience that you need in becoming a good father. That early on, to just have that patience with a crying baby. You just like can't be like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know, it's crying. What am I going to do? You just gotta like take your time with it and just feel it out and just go through the process. So same thing with life. Things come your way and you gotta be patient with it and read in the lines of what's happening and how to react. And, you know, it happens for a reason. So he tells you and he will show you. He will show you.
Even if you try to deny it, even if you try to stand against it, it will show you. You will see. Please go ahead. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand, sorry. Any other comments, questions, objections? You know, let's have a battle, fight.
I'm curious what's going to happen next.
So we will, today we will study only a few more verses. And then next week, I guess we will see the real battle.
Oh.
If there's any. But anyway.
We'll be here next week.
Sorry?
We'll be here next week.
Is there anything? Oh, okay. I thought it was a question. Okay. Sorry. I have this problem with
What do we really know?
I guess if we try to summarize what we discussed so far is everything in your life is a letter for you that you need to open and read in the name of God who creates things, who is, in this case, who is the merciful one. And this is how the entire revelation started, right? Read. How? Read in the name of your boss, in the name of your clan, in the name of your, I don't know, past generations, or in the name of your God who created. So this is the process, this is the methodology that Qur'an tries to teach us. Maybe this is the crux of Qur'an, is reading universe in the name of Creator, who is the merciful. A car accident happens, like don't be just, of course, run from it, try to save yourself, or try to help people if there's, someone hurt. But don't throw this letter to trash. Open it, read it. See what it tells you. All your fears, all your excitements, or your anger about the accident. What they tell you, read them. And read in the name of Creator. So don't forget that everything is being created, including your hatred. It's being created in you.
You got a question?
Please.
I just, what caught my attention in the last verse was it says, come unto me in willing surrender. When we were saying, before we were saying, a God who's the one of the mightiest throne, and then also the entire mercy, the special mercy, we're talking about a God, but then still, he's saying, come unto me in willing surrender. Like, he's not forcing you to surrender. He's not like crushing you with his power and saying, surrender to me, it's your only option. He's saying, come on to me in willing surrender. And he, to even like encourage us, he says, you know, I am the entirely merciful, I'm the especially merciful one. Like, if you see me as this, you will already come to me in willing surrender. And this makes me think, when I don't willingly surrender, when things happen in my life that I don't enjoy and I'm angry about, and he says in the beginning, don't exalt yourselves against me. And I'm thinking, am I exalting myself in those moments? When I'm complaining about something, is it because I'm exalting myself? Is it because I see some power in myself that I'm trying to protect? So maybe I should see that instead of exalting myself, I need to instead surrender to the one who is actually very nice to surrender to.
Yes, great. Please.
So, I don't know if I've shared this before, but I've come to where I'm not preferring the translation of surrender, and I'm preferring acceptance. Because I
That's
feel like,
even better, yes.
you know, acceptance is the opposite of rejection, and also has that taslim, you know, aspect to it. Yeah.
So let's keep this in mind. Alhamdulillah, that's great. Maybe related to this acceptance part. So your question, like, am I exalting myself? Like, I guess this is another thing about Quran, the way I feel at least. Like when I read such verses in Quran, don't do this, don't do that. There are even very basic things. Things like, don't mix bad with good. Like, don't confuse bad with the good. Don't confuse good with the bad. Right? Am I confusing? Like, good is good, bad is bad. I know that. For instance, knowledge is good, right? And
Pain is bad.
sorry?
Pain is bad.
Pain is bad, whatever. So why is, such a scripture which is supposed to guide me tells me such a thing? And the key is, it's guiding me. Because I'm doing this all the time. I take a bad thing and make it good. And I take a good thing and make it bad. Knowledge is good, right? But when I have knowledge, I start insulting others if they don't have knowledge. This knowledge is bad for me. It would be better if I didn't have this kind of knowledge, causing me, insulting others. Don't exalt yourself against me. Am I exalting myself? My Creator says so, so maybe I should take it serious and question. Am I exalting myself? So, maybe I shared this before. I have only limited experiences that I can share interesting ones. I still have from time to time backache. But my back hurts.
I second that one.
Okay. Both of us. After a certain age,
Right,
we do that. Yes. Two of us has this back hurting for a while. Before, again, from some time to time, still, may Allah forgive me. Every time I have it, in a acute way, like very seriously, I get angry. I used to get angry. I have this pain, it's terrible, I'm angry. But at the same time, I'm questioning why I'm angry. Okay, I'm in pain, that's understandable, and I'm uncomfortable, that's I don't want to work. It all makes sense, but why am I angry? I couldn't make sense of it for a while. And then while I was driving, I guess, I seen a billboard, like with a commercial. It was either a hospital or a drug company, something about health.
I thought it was going to be a Posturepedic mattress.
Right. It's the sign.
And then, commercial, like in the billboard, the ad, old guy, like older than me, okay? Older than me, like a obviously old guy, playing basketball with a young guy. And the ad says, like, you don't deserve this pain or something like, you don't deserve it. You don't have to live with it. Come to us, we will cure you. That was the ad. I read this. You don't deserve this part. I said, okay, now I understand. This is why I'm angry. Because I think, I have control of my body. I have control of my life. And nobody can interfere with it. Nobody can give me pain that I'm not, approving. I don't deserve it. I'm a believer, I'm X, I'm Y, whatever. I don't deserve it. And I have control on my life. I can go to this hospital and they will cure me. So that was the reason I was, angry, because I was exalting myself. And my creator will be with this billboard telling me, don't exalt yourself. Don't be fool. Don't be toy of these companies. She said, "O noble ones, advise me in my affair. I wouldn't decide another until you are present with me." They answered, "We are endowed with power and great military might, but the command is yours. So consider what you will command." So a news comes to me, tells me something challenging, or tell me, don't exalt yourself, Birkan. I'm giving you this pain, I'm creating this pain in you, because it's a messenger. You should receive the message, take it, use it, listen it, read it. Don't exalt yourself. And what I do, I advise, consult my noble ones. My mind, for instance, it's a noble one for me. My reasoning is the noblest one, right, in this century. If you can make calculations, you are the best. If you are a scientist like myself, let me, a little bit boost myself, you are the best. You are the noble one. We are the cleric of this century, right? Before there were some religious cleric who are controlling people, telling people what to do, what not to do. Now I'm part of this cleric.
People of knowledge.
Yes, people of knowledge.
Scholars.
Yeah, exactly. Scholar, but it has to be secular scholar, the knowledge. Worshipping sun. So anyway, I consult my reasoning. This message tells me I don't have control in my life. Wait a second. My reasoning says, we have a great military, we have great power. Like I can tell you what's happening in black holes. I can tell you how to build a computer. I can tell you all the biological mechanisms in your body. We have a great power. Don't be fooled, don't listen to this message. If you want, let us destroy it. Telling you you don't have control. Everything is being created by someone. You are needy, you are weak. And my noble one says, no, you are endowed with great power. Look at yourself. You are X, you are Y. You are a student at one of the best universities. What control you lack? You have everything. You study hard, you get great grades. And then she says, verily, wherever kings enter a country, they corrupt it, ruin it. There are different translations. And turn the noblest of its people into the most abject, the one with least dignity. And this is the way they always behave. Okay, so, yes, So this is the things, this is the state of affairs as it is. What do you see here?
I just realized when I first looked at the image, I saw the horses and the soldiers on the top, and I didn't see the people underneath. When I first looked at it, I was like, "Oh, wait a second. There's people like under those horses."
So in our physical world, this is what happens, like as depicted by picture. The king comes and destroys nations or cities in the name of usually beautiful things. In the name of democracy, in the name of freedom, in the name of, I don't know, religion. Or we are trying to spread the Islam, we are trying to spread Christianity, we are trying to spread the truth. Don't look at the people, under our feet. There's one aspect of it, definitely. In the story also, she's afraid that the same thing happened to this. But I guess there's also another read of this. Although these noble ones tells us, don't surrender, don't accept it. Don't accept the letter, don't accept the message. You are not needy, you are not weak. Deep down we know that there is the real king, Al-Mulk. Right? The real king. And when I realize that everything is being created, the things that I've thought was noblest will be the one with the least dignity. And the things I thought were the terrible or were the lowest will become the thing that will take me the truth. We see these I guess kind of opposite of it in the story of was it Noah, I guess. The noble ones were telling that even if we want to listen to you, look at the people around you. They are the lowest of the society. But the response was that these people who are the lowest of the society, the ones who returns to their creator. So in my case, the things that I thought was the lowest of myself, like my neediness, my weakness, these are the ones who would take me to my creator. But the things that I thought was the noblest, my knowledge, my power, my dog, powerful one, right? They are the ones with the least dignity. And the true king will come and show the truth. That they're nothing. All these idols that you worship, they're nothing.
I read this a little differently. I don't know the significance of Al-Mulk, right, the king, but what I understood was like when you use, your reasoning or whatever, this and that is a king, and you're using it to force impose itself upon you and your motivations. And through that, you might be turning something noble like your fitra or some innate disposition that doesn't have reasoning. You're
exactly
throwing it, on the ground.
Yes. This makes perfect sense because, again, everything in my life has a purpose. Everything in my life is being created. Even the ugliest things. Even the worst things. So there is no way to try to get rid of others. But everything in my life is being created, and everything is noble in that sense.
And for the sake of the narrative of the story, it seems like she was given, the queen was given permission to, give her decision on what to do. And it seems like what she's saying here is a reasoning for her not to attack because it'll cause destruction. So whatever that adds to the story.
I guess to the point, just in the beginning previous verse, as Abdurrahman also said, there's an emphasis there. But the comment is yours, so consider what you will comment. The decision is always yours. So you have all these noble ones around you. Sometimes in you, your reasoning, your intellect, your whatever. Sometimes around you, your friends, your professors, your boss, your wife, your children. But the command or choice will be always yours. There is always this notion of free will. Without free will, you cannot make sense of anything. So if you want to understand anything in life, first start reading in the name of Creator. Realize that it's being created. It's not there out of nothing or out of order. It's not there in a chaotic manner. It's being created in front of me for a purpose. This is how you read in the name of Creator. And then also acknowledge that you have free will. Meaning the same thing can tell you one thing or the other. It may guide you or make you go astray. You will make your choice. Just like Qur'an says, right? These are the verses, these are the signs which guides people of belief, but at the same time make go astray the people of disbelief. So choice is always yours. So this is the end. Inshallah, next week we will see the last part of the story, which will see some thrones moving around.
Some dragons too.
And there are some invisible beings, yeah. But inshallah, next week we will conclude in the story. We will see who will direct this last episode, whether Yusuf or myself. But inshallah, next week we will study the last part of the story. Jazakallah khair. Abdurrahman, would you like to conclude the discussion?
سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة